Today we've got the evolved form of Godzilla, Pink Godzilla, taking on his old rival, one of the only guys to really beat him, MechaGodzilla. So who wins here? Let's get to it. So in Godzilla vs. Kong, MechaGodzilla was created by Apex Cybernetics because the CEO was determined to build a weapon powerful enough to challenge Godzilla's dominance, make humans the apex predators, the alpha titans again. And so, in order to do all this, in order to take down Godzilla, well, they took two of the heads from King Ghidorah and used their telepathic connection to build a giant metal kaiju that can be piloted by a human. Kinda confusing, but it did work there for a second. But then Ghidorah somehow took over, causing MechaGodzilla to break out and just start wreaking havoc in downtown Hong Kong. Then he went up against Godzilla and started wreaking havoc too. And then he went up against Kong, and Godzilla and Kong, all at the same time. So MechaGodzilla is obviously incredibly strong. He's able to completely overpower Godzilla, knock him down, ram him through buildings, everything. Did the same thing with Kong too. Now, granted, both of them were exhausted after having fought each other almost to the death, but still, we've never seen Godzilla getting overpowered like that so quickly in a fight, even against King Ghidorah. MechaGodzilla was completely dominant from the very beginning. Godzilla was basically just his punching bag at some points. He's also a mech, meaning that he's got all sorts of weapons and gadgets too. He's got shoulder-mounted missile launchers that were capable of stunning and knocking over Godzilla. He can unleash some super-powered energy punches that's knocked over Godzilla too. Even his tail has a deadly drill attached to it. And then to top it all off, MechaGodzilla has his own atomic breath, his proton scream, which was able to slice right through a skullcrawler, match up against Godzilla's own atomic breath, even overpower Godzilla's beam. Over the years, let me tell you, Godzilla has definitely cemented his place as king of the monsters. He's stood tall as the ultimate alpha predator, strongest in the world of titans. And even outside of when Godzilla evolved into his pink form, even in just his base form, well, he's still incredibly powerful. Like, there's pretty much no other alpha titan that can stand up to him. And trust me, plenty have tried. But Godzilla's been able to fight against and kill the two Mutos. He's fought against and beaten Kong. He's fought against King Ghidorah. Pretty much no one can stand up against him. And these are all some really serious monsters too. I mean, the Mutos weigh 76,000 tons and 46,000 tons. Kong is 93,000 tons, and King Ghidorah weighs 140,000 tons. So when Godzilla is just throwing these guys around with ease and decking them with attacks, well, you gotta factor that in. Godzilla is insanely strong. And again, that's just his base form. He's also crazy tough. Like we just said, Godzilla has gotten into his fair share of fights against other titans throughout the years. Everyone just seems to be gunning for that crown. They've all definitely got their hits in. I mean, just look at King Ghidorah. Godzilla was able to pretty consistently trade blows with Ghidorah, take everything that Ghidorah had, and really Ghidorah had no true shot at taking Godzilla down, until he amped himself with all the electricity in Boston. Then there's Kong. For as powerful as Kong is for being another true alpha titan, well, Godzilla was basically toying with him the entire time. That's seriously not all either. Godzilla is regularly surviving nuclear bombs, like he survived the Castle Bravo nuke, a 15 megaton nuke that at the time was the largest nuke ever detonated. Godzilla took it like a champ. Then Godzilla took another one. This is an absolutely massive nuclear bomb too. It's no joke. And then there's the Oxygen Destroyer. Godzilla survived that even while taking it directly on the head. Then last but not least, the Permian Impact, a straight up extinction level event. It broke apart the Earth's crust, created an explosion even larger than Africa, and killed 90% of all life on the planet. Godzilla just took it, and well, he just kept on swimming. Basically, Godzilla is operating on just a straight up insane level. He's nearly impossible to hurt, much less put down for good. There have been a few times where he's been knocked out, a few low showings along the way, but the guy is insanely tough, like taking gigantic nuclear bombs directly to the face, kinda tough. And then there's his signature attack, his atomic breath. He's able to kill a whole lot of titans with this attack and injure a whole lot more. But probably the most impressive thing was a time where Godzilla used his atomic breath to burrow all the way down through the Earth itself in order to reach the hollow Earth. Easily the craziest thing the big lizard has ever done. Godzilla is releasing just an absolutely insane amount of power and energy here. Now, I say all this because while this is Godzilla at his core, Pink Godzilla is an upgraded and evolved version of all of this. We actually know that Pink Godzilla is 120% of what normal Godzilla is. So that's like a serious force to be reckoned with here. And he definitely showed that off too. He was able to fight against some of the most powerful titans on Earth, and honestly, looked like it wasn't hard for him. And these are titans that he's really struggled with in the past, and had nearly killed him before. Like Scar King and his army nearly beat base Godzilla. It felt like there was never even much of a chance of them beating Pink Godzilla. Godzilla decided to upgrade for his second fight against the monkey, and he seriously upgraded. But how will he fare against MechaGodzilla, especially considering that MechaGodzilla has already beaten Godzilla in the past? Well, let's start there, because there's definitely a few caveats here that we need to talk about. Mostly that MechaGodzilla didn't fight against Godzilla when he was at his best. Godzilla had just gotten through fighting against Kong for 12 hours. He had been knocked out by Kong already. He was operating at a much weaker state than he normally was. But even then, Godzilla was still able to initially push back against MechaGodzilla when they first collided. It was really MechaGodzilla's superior speed and agility, not his superior power, that allowed him to get the upper hand. And then MechaGodzilla was able to unleash the beatdown, and Godzilla was too weak to recover, until Kong stepped in, and they were able to tag team the big mech and beat him. Now, maybe you want to say that MechaGodzilla would still do super well in a fight against 100% base Godzilla, just because of how dominant he was against a weak Godzilla. And yeah, you're probably right. MechaGodzilla might even technically be able to beat base Godzilla. I mean, that is the whole point of this Titan. MechaGodzilla was specifically designed to counter and beat Godzilla more than any other Titan. Either way, it doesn't really matter, because Pink Godzilla is a whole different beast altogether. For starters, like we said, a lot of MechaGodzilla's initial advantage over Godzilla was just his greater speed and agility. That kinda goes away with this version of Godzilla. He's weirdly fast and agile, something that we haven't really seen from Godzilla before. So there goes that speed advantage. Secondly, Pink Godzilla is just straight up more powerful. Remember, we've seen MechaGodzilla fight against a weaker version of Godzilla, and at best, we kinda compare him to base Godzilla and say they're close to equals. But Pink Godzilla is base Godzilla evolved twice over. he absorbed all the energy from that nuclear reactor, which led him to absolutely dominate against Tiamat. And we know that Godzilla and Tiamat have had fights in the past that didn't go this definitively. So we know this version of Godzilla was more powerful than normal. And he didn't stop there, but transformed into Pink Godzilla. He's way stronger, way tougher, and way faster than before. He should be able to beat MechaGodzilla in every stat category. At the very least, they're tying, but more likely Godzilla is taking the edge. Pink Godzilla also definitely has a lot more energy power. It was said that his spiral ray attack was similar to the attacks he was unleashing in Boston in his fire form, which was just straight up obliterating King Ghidorah. No, MechaGodzilla just isn't ready for what's coming at him here. Pink Godzilla is on a whole different level. We haven't seen anything to suggest that MechaGodzilla has what it takes to put this big guy down. Meanwhile, Pink Godzilla definitely has the power and ability to rip the mech to shreds. Pink Godzilla wins. But what do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. I know you're gonna have thoughts and feelings on this one for sure. If you stuck around this long and made it to the end of the video, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us. And if you want to go subscribe, well, go subscribe. You're gonna see more videos like this one every single week. I'll see y'all then. I'll see y'all next time.